It is the Sports Fix here on Flow FM, and the oldest continuous carnival for football in the country was played over the weekend. That's what I'm led to believe. Chris Prime might be able to tell us more about the Mortlock Shield. He joins me on the line. G'day, Primey. How are you, mate?
Good, Regs. No, I wasn't around when the first one was played, and I'm assuming it's not continuous now because it wasn't played in 2020.
Well, that's true. You make a good point there. I think they'd played every year from the war up until COVID stopped it. So for a period, but I don't know what we're into now, the 80-odd or something like that. It's a big carnival anyway. That's all you need to know about the Mortlock Shield.
It is. I shouldn't be flippant about it, should I?
It's been a maroon fest over recent years. Your mob, Great Flinders, still sticks in my throat just when I say it, but you can't stop winning Mortlock Shields. Another one in the trophy cabinet. Where is the Great Flinders trophy cabinet? Is it in Cummins or is it in Tumby Bay?
I'm not 100% sure. I know the Mortlock Shield sat behind the bar at the Tumby Bay Footy Club for 12 months, and then I think other years it goes out to Cummins and
does a bit of a tour, does it?
It does a bit of a tour at times. So yeah, I think that's 3 on the go for Great Flinders.
To send it out to Elliston. They haven't won one in a while.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they'd be happy to have it out there on display too. So yeah.
All right, well, let's have a look at how it was done. Perfect again, Great Flinders over the 5 matches of Mortlock, and they did play 5. They played a final. So every team played each other once, which meant they were supposed to be 4 games, and then there was a final scheduled for 3:30. Eastern Air were the team that you beat in the final by 8 points in the end. Not a lot in it, but just a little bit too good when it mattered. Great Flinders.
Yeah, look, I think the evenness of the team, and I guess the ability to be able to keep fronting up too. Like, it's not easy playing a couple of games a day and then, playing, resting and getting back up and going. So, look, I know the boys I've spoken to have been pretty happy, and I think one of the highlights is like when you go through the best players or you look at the midfield, they had so many different guys that could go through the middle, like, you weren't wearing them out. So, 1-0 up to one bloke or 1 or 2, like there's 6 or 7 that could play that role. So, and that comes a little bit down to selection and a little bit down to cattle. But, look, I think the boys were pretty happy.
Yep, you look through the Great Flinders team as well as some class in it. I mean, Cody Rosalia, Kai Miller, Kingsley Bilney, Sean Maxfield, Yoey Wagner. These guys have all been stars in the link over many years and are now dominating at Great Flinders. But it's the household Great Flinders names that get it done again. The Crettenons of the world, Joey Walker from Tumby Bay, Xavier Watson, Stephen Crettenon. I mean, they'll need a new sock drawer. They'll have that many Mortlock Shield medals. They'll be overflowing out of that area. They just keep fronting up year in, year out and getting it done when it matters.
Look, they do, and I think, once again, that's the experience. You have the experienced players and then you have younger ones coming in and and they learn from that. Whether the form, like, I enjoyed the format, the way it's set up this year. I understand why we had a final to showcase the 2 best sides. But yeah, look, I think Great Flinders has lost 1 game in 3 years, and they still won the Shield that year. So it's whether the actual structure of the comp's quite right. Now, if that was a combined Lincoln side that had won 13 or 14, then whether we'd be calling for them to split again. It's whether we go back to a 4-team comp like with Lincoln as a combined side and each play each other once, and then 2 full games on the Monday with the top 2 and 3 and 4 playing each other or something. So I don't know. There's always different ways you can look at it, and I know the committee will be not pulling their hair out, but they'll be throwing different things around and trying to find the thing that works best for them. And that might mean Great Flinders doesn't win one, but that probably works well for Great Flinders winning it, but it doesn't work well for the other 3 leagues.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. There was a period of time there where Lincoln Reefed as one team and they won a couple and then they were split up again, and I don't know that either of them have. Link City might have won one of since then. But yeah, it's a question that can be asked, I guess, but at the end of the day, the reality is it's just great to see Carnival continue on. I mean, have a look at that Eastern Air side. They only went down by 8 points final. They were right there. The Rack of Wasses in that team. Sid Masters going beautifully. Young Jakey Turner is playing some ball. Coop Welland's a star. I mean, these guys mixing it with great Flinders, they come away having lost by 8 points. But gee whiz, if that doesn't light a fire in your guts to get it done next year, I don't know what will. They're too good a side, I think, Eastern Air to not win one soon.
Oh, look, I thought going down they'd be pretty close, and I guess 8 points is pretty close. So, look, I think the first time they played in the day, and it was a bit noticeable on the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Like the first game of the day was always quite scrappy and low scoring, and then the game seemed to open up. So that's a little bit of that. We used to call it kicking the dew off, and I think that's what happened when Eastern Air played Great Flinders first thing Monday morning. Like, it was 1 goal 3 to 3 goals 7. So I think in the afternoon when they played, it was just a bit more free flowing and a bit more better football conditions. So yeah, look, good carnival, and yeah, the boys are very happy to come away with the win.
Yep, well, let's have a look at the Norwood Cup. The youngsters, the under-15s, took centre stage on Sunday. I know you got down to Centenary Oval for this. It wasn't a great day for Great Flinders, who finished bottom of the ladder there. Lincoln Districts ended up winning the final again over Eastern Air. So, well, Eastern Air couldn't buy a grand final win, but these carnivals, like I said last week, they're the weight for age, really, of Air Peninsula, aren't they, the under-15s?
Look, they are, and I don't know whether it was Great Flinders' luck to play the two teams that met in the final, or because Great Flinders wasn't travelling quite as well that the two teams made the grand final. But and I guess you go down and it's a lot of how many top age players you've got in your group, and you know how things are travelling. And Great Flinders this year, we probably had half our side were got another year of under 15s. And look, really overall, I think their game against Eastern Air, the second one, I think they got blown away probably the last 5 or 10 minutes, where it was only a couple of goals in it halfway through the second half, and just that weight of numbers sort of got Eastern Air kicking 3 or 4 in the last 5 minutes, and sort of blew the score out. And Lincoln District, well, they blew Great Flinders away in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and it was 5 goals to nothing, or I think we might have kicked 1, and then it was pretty even. So it was just, I guess it was a good experience for the younger ones coming through, and it's finding your balance. Like, you get out there and it's not club footy, and it's whether they can take what they've learnt over the day from this carnival back to their club footy, and see if that then you can see the improvement in the club footy. So I know we had 6 in from Tumby, and there's a couple there that I want to see bring that same intensity and attack on the ball that they had there on Sunday. I'd like to see that week in, week out. So they'll set their standard now. They've got to come back and show it.
Yeah, very cool. So, all right, well, we'll leave Mortlock Shield and Norwood Cup there. Well done to all of the trophy winners, and we'll wait and see what the Western Zone side, or EP, for the Country Championships looks like. I think we've got a rough idea of who's going to be in the squad, but, geez, I wouldn't like to be a selector trying to pick that final team, because out of, even Western Air now, there's some strong comps, and they were well represented at Mortlock, and there's going to be some very good footballers that aren't going to be wearing the brown and gold jumper over that Country Champs long weekend. Not long weekend, Country Champs weekend. Yeah,
it feels like a long weekend when you're there, and it's always tough, and and it's not getting any easier. You keep having the young guys coming through, and the older guys, well, they keep performing. So there's that, keeping that balance and getting it right. So that's why the selectors get paid the big money, and there'll be a few tough calls and disappointed boys coming into that weekend.
But back to club footy, round 9 of matches in Great Flinders football this Saturday, and let's have a look at the ladder first of all. Elliston Districts will have the bye, by the way, in this round coming, but the Eagles on top, 7-0. Elliston Districts 5 wins, 2 losses. They've only had the 1 bye. Tumby Bay breathing down their necks. 4 wins, 2 losses. They've had 2 byes. Lock 2-4. Ramblers 2-4. Cummins Kapini Cougars for that last spot in the top 4 is certainly wide open, mate.
It is, and it makes this weekend round of matches pretty important for quite a few sides.
Most certainly does. I didn't mention Air United there, who are bottom of the ladder without a win. Well, let's have a look at their clash, top versus bottom, and I fear for the Saints this weekend at Carcoo. The Eagles, they've got another Mortlock Shield in the sock drawer off their side anyway. They'll be fired up, they'll be confident, they'll be in form, they'll be fit, and they'll be far too good for the Saints.
Oh, look, I think that's right. It's hard to see anything else. I think it will be fairly one-sided, and once again, United will battle away, but Yolanda will just have the too many players on the field that can just take the game away.
Be some cracking games in the Colts side of things there between those two, though, I reckon. So we'll have a look at that next week. But these two games are massive in the A grade. Very big games, both of them. First of all, at Tumby Bay, your beloved Blues will host Cummins Kapini Cougars, and this will be an interesting game for a number of reasons. Did Cougars turn the corner the week before Mortlock? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. The Blues need to win this to go and draw level with Elliston Districts, looking for that double chance. So there's plenty of reasons why both of these sides desperately need to win.
Oh, there is, and look, it will come down. Cougars just need to keep winning to stay in touch, and Tumby wants to sort of try and get hold of that second spot and the double chance. So Tumby will be itching for the win, and we're we're waiting to see what Cougars bring. Like as we talked before, more like they got away with the win, and whether that's just their change of fortune they needed, and we'll have to wait and see. Like coming up against a bit stronger side, and I'm really looking forward to the day.
Cracking game one, and if Yoey Wagner gets some support from Upfield, like he started to get the week before the bye, he looms large. He's not the only player. I said before, there's too many good players on paper in that lineup to be that bad all season. So maybe they've turned it around. They've got to play a good opposition. They've got to play and beat a good opposition to prove it, mate.
They do, and we talked about it all last year when they were flying. It's all right having the key forwards, but it's your midfield. It's if you can get that ball out in the midfield, it's and hold it in your forward lines. That's where the pressure starts. So I think that's the real key in, or you go through most of these sides. If you can control that midfield early on from the first bounce sort of through, then you control a lot of the game. So saying it all year, like the midfield drives what goes on around the rest of the ground. So they make your backman's life either easy or hard. So I think that's where the battle will be, right in the guts.
Well, it may well be in the same spot at Cummins Oval, and it doesn't get a bigger game than this in terms of finals aspirations for both of these sides. I personally think it's one of these two sides that's playing in the finals, and I think that this game may well decide it. Ramblers versus Lock at Cummins Oval. I reckon the winner plays finals.
I'm not going to argue with you. There'll be hopefully a game clear in fourth, the winner of this one after this week. And we keep looking at the Lockeroos and think, well, they've only won 2 games, but they've been in a hell of a lot more. And I think they might come away with the chocolates this weekend. But Ramblers won't go down without a fight.
No, I mean, both sides have got a little bit of top-end talent. I think Ramblers might have more talent, but I don't know that Lock in their first 22, when they don't have injuries, I don't think they drop away as Rambler either. So I honestly have absolutely no idea who's going to win this game. There's players running around and some experienced players for both sides, but it may well be ball use of Rambler, perhaps, going into their fine that might separate a Lock, but I don't know. It's too close to call that one. Priming.
Yeah, but you've got to take a bit of a guess. So, I've seen them both play. Well, I haven't seen Ramblers play, so I missed last week. But it is a toss of the coin. I think Locks have probably scored a little bit freer than Ramblers, and that might be the thing that gets them over the line. But then Ramblers are pretty dour in defence; they never give too much away.
Yeah, I'd like to win, but I don't know. Heart versus head. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Roos. No, with no confidence whatsoever. Should be a cracking round of matches, mate. Round 9. Will you be lacing them up?
I'll wait. I'll see what the coach says. It's a week by week thing.
Yep.
If we got numbers, I can have a sit down, and if we don't have numbers, I go and put the boots on.
Bourbon can boots. It's pretty much wait and see after the selection, right?
Yeah. Look, it's all good. Nothing phases me too much anymore.
Fair enough. Good on you, mate. Enjoy the footy, whether you're watching or playing this weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week to see how it all went.
No worries. Thanks, Greg.